In our chapter of working with parabolas, it's going to be important to be able to graph parabolas, just like we graphed lines earlier this semester. Please find these notes and please fill them in as this video is played. Let's take a look at number 1. What I would like to do is show some work in the middle. And my equation tells me y is equal to 2x squared. So what I would like you to do in the space in the middle is I want you to do 2 and then times something squared. So we're really going to do this same thing a few times. Now, the numbers that we're going to plug in are these numbers that we're going to plug in the x column. So, -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. And then we just have to remember the order of operations. And this is where people make the most mistakes. The order of operations tell you that you need to do exponents first, then do multiplying. So I need to take -2 and square it first. -2 squared first, which is 4. 2 times 4 is 8, so my y-coordinate's 8. -1 squared is +1. Then take it times 2. We get +2. If I take 0 squared, I get 0. And if I take 2 times 0, I get 0. 1 squared is 1. Take that times 2. 2 times 1 is 2. And if I take 2 squared, I get 4. 2 times 4 is 8. Notice that there's some symmetry in the table. As long as my vertex is in the middle of the table, and in this case 0, 0 is my vertex, then I will see symmetry. Before I plot these points, I think it's important to realize which way this parabola opens. In this problem, my a value is the number associated with the x squared, which is 2, +2. And so that means that this parabola is going to open upward. So let's plot these points, and hopefully we end up with a parabola that opens upward. Let's plot the point -2, 8. Go to the left 2 and up 8. I think it's about right here. -1, 2. Go to the left 1 and up 2. 0, 0. And 1, 2. And then 2, 8. That looks like it should be a parabola, so now let's try to draw in the best parabola that we can. And here's our parabola that opens upward. Alright, in this second one, I don't want you to get hung up on the fact that we have a fraction in there. It's really no big deal. So in each one of these, 5 times, let's write down what we're going to be dealing with. And we have a 1/2 times something squared plus 4. And I'm going to write that down a few more times. 1/2 times something squared plus 4. 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 And the numbers that we're going to plug in are the numbers that are in our x column. So -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. Order of operations tells me to do exponents first. So I'm going to take -2 squared first, which is 4. Then I got to take half of 4, which is 2. 2 plus 4 is 6. So my first y-coordinate is 6. Take -1 squared first. That's 1. Then I got to take half times 1, which is a half. Plus 4 is 4.5. Plug in 0, and I'm going to take 0 squared first. That gives me 0. Half times 0 is still 0. 0 plus 4 is 4. In the next one, I'm going to take 1 squared, which is 1. Take a half times 1, which is a half. A half plus 4 is 4.5. and then take 2 squared. You get 4. Half of 4 is 2. 2 plus 4 is 6. And in this case, we do have our vertex in the middle of the table. And since I have my vertex in the middle of the table, I do see that I have some symmetry in my table, which is good. All right, before we graph this, let's decide which way this is going to open. In this problem, my a value is positive 1/2. Since the a value is positive, that tells me that this graph opens upward. So let's plot these points, and hopefully we end up with a parabola that opens upward. So let's plot the point -2, 6. Go to the left 2 and up 6. About right here. -1, 4.5. We've got to estimate where this is. Go to the left 1 and up 4.5. 0, 4. And then I need to plot 1, 4.5. And then I need to plot one other point after that, which is going to be 2, 6. Alright, I think yours on your paper will look much better than how this one looks, because it's a little hard to graph this on this iPad that I'm using. But this does look like a parabola that opens upward, so let's go ahead and draw this graph in. There's part of it, and there's the other part of it. And hey, I think that looks pretty good. Let's take a look at this last graphing one together. And what we're going to do is exactly the same thing we did on the other ones. I want to write in the middle the work that we're going to be doing. And so we're going to have -2 times something squared minus 3. So let's fill this in each one of these boxes. The numbers that I'm going to plug in are those numbers in the x column. -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. And let's see if I can detect some symmetry in my table. Order of operations tells me to do the exponents first. I got to take -2 and square it, which is 4. -2 times 4 is -8. -8 minus 3 is -11. I got to do -1 squared first. That's 1. -2 times 1 is -2. -2 minus 3 more is -5. We need to be careful with the signs here. 0 squared is 0. -2 times 0 is 0. 0 minus 3, -3. Do 1 squared, you get 1. -2 times 1 is -2. -2 minus 3 is -5. Hopefully we get -11 for this last one. 2 squared is 4. -2 times 4 is -8. -8 minus 3 is -11. So my vertex was in the middle of my table, which was good. Let's decide which way this parabola is going to open. In this case, my a value is -2. Since my a value is -2, that tells me that this parabola opens downward. So when I plot these points, I hope to get a parabola that opens downward. Let's try to plot these points. -2, -11. Go to the left 2 and then go down 11, which is off the graph. -1, -5. Go to the left 1 and then down 5. 0, -3. Start at 0, 0. Go down 3 spots. 1, -5. Go to the right 1 and down 5. And then 2, -11. Go to the right 2 and down 11 spots. Again, it's off our graph. This looks like a parabola that opens downward, which is good because that's what I was supposed to get. So let's go ahead and draw this parabola in. It's kind of a skinny looking one, but that would be the graph for the equation in number 3.